Oh, hi. My name is Janice Goodman, and I am the president of Green Plants for Green Buildings. And I just recorded the new holiday video, and that is coming out within the next 24 hours. Now, it's not an all-out production of Alice in Wonderland this year, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. It'll be still fun, okay? So, Callie's on the call. Annie, how's it going?
Things are
Do we
going
get to
well.
see your lovely face or no?
Yeah, 1 second.
You don't have to. You could just
I'm
put a
here.
bathrobe, you don't have your PJs on. Oh, it's not COVID anymore. I forgot.
Hi,
Okay.
everybody.
Hello. We're going to do a quick AIA debrief. So most of these people were here at AIA. We had over 17 representatives from Green Plants from all over. Jessica, welcome. She's in my neighborhood. NBBJ, yeah. Who is N Holland? Thank you for joining. We work with NBBJ. We love you guys. We did Moderna with you.
Hey,
So
that's
hello.
fantastic.
Yeah. And what is your name? Is it Nick? Ned?
Nate.
Nate?
Yeah, don't have that in my profile yet. Got to work on that.
And where are you out of?
I'm out of Omaha, Nebraska, not associated with any of our offices particularly.
All right. Well, I'm so glad that we have a non-plant person. Well, you could be a plant person, but in the room. So there
I
you
have
are.
plants.
Yeah. Biophilia. So we have representatives from all over the country, and we're just gonna start off by giving a little bit of recap. So Green Plants for Green Buildings had a nice 20 by 20 foot booth at the AIA conference in DC recently, and it was a success. We created a beautiful biophilic environment. It was plants everywhere and all kinds of like new technologies in the plantscape world. We had almost 20 representatives, and we talked to literally, I would say hundreds, because if there's 17 of us talking all the time to designers, it was a lot. So we've got the message out about the importance of biophilic design in nature and the built environment. I thought it was a big success. Jean-Pierre, Annie was there. It was a win-win. I know that Jean-Pierre works for ASI, which is a company in next gen living walls. And he had quite a few people that called him back after, which is exciting, to specify his living wall system, which works really well. We use it, and I think a lot of people in the room use the living wall system. Just kind of wanted to shout out, thank the team who designed it. Rebecca's here, Annie's here, Jean-Pierre, part of the team of creating this beautiful design. And if you follow us on Instagram, you can see kind of some of the videos and stuff of the show. So it's coming to Boston next year, right in my backyard. So we're going to, in Jessica's backyard. She is from Massachusetts as well. She's on the call. And we're going to get another booth and have a presence again at the next AIA show, which is exciting. And again, thanks to the team, Rebecca Bullene from Greenery NYC, Rebecca Bakke, from Bloom and Flourish. Yeah, Colorado, Shelby, Ashalera, and Chloe Dubois is on my team. There was a lot of us, Jean-Pierre, Jason, there's a lot of us that helped put together. So it was a success. If anybody wants to add anything to that, Bill Browning, has everybody's heard of Bill Browning? He works and is the founder of Terrapin Bright Green. Then they did the 14 patterns of biophilic design. He did a talk. I did a talk. Dr. Twanda Green, brilliant person that did a talk about your brain on plants, and it was a different take on how important it is to have plants. Is biophilic design isn't just plants, right? In the built environment, it's just one aspect of it, but Dr. Green literally kind of drove in and specifically talked about why plants are so important too, and what it does to your brain and your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So that was amazing. So that's the first thing. Does anybody have any input or talk or questions about the AIA because a lot of you on the call support green plants or green buildings. Feel free, Nate, to talk to NBBJ. You could be a supporter too. You don't have to be a plantscaper. We could, you know, basically, you like plants and you want people to embrace your biophilic designs, and, you know, we'll take all the help we can get, or be on the board even. Having an architect designer present on our board would be amazing, or committees. Any questions? Awesome. Good. So we're going to go on to the next, which was Cultivate. Cultivate is another green industry conference that just happened in Columbus, Ohio. Several of us were speaking at this conference. I'm kind of actually going to Rebecca, the other Rebecca, myself, and Carolyn from Seasonscapes. We're on a women entrepreneur panel, and we talked about a lot of the newest trends. Jean-Pierre did Unlocking the Secrets of a Thriving Living Wall, correct? How'd that go, Jean?
It went pretty well. Yeah, it was a good turnout. So
yeah. So I'm just gonna, just because some of you didn't go, I would love to just really fly through the quick presentation. Hey, Jess. The presentation that we did, in giving, you know, just a really quick of what we did for a presentation to kind of give you some ideas about what could be possible in the newest and trendiest. Let's see if I can do this. I don't think it wants to. Okay, here we go. Well, I don't know if it's going to go into slideshow mode. Yes, it is. All right. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. All right. So let's see if I can. I don't want to leave the meeting. Okay. Next. I think this is going to be too slow. Okay, we're going to start with Rebecca's Trends in Plantscape Design. I just think it's going to be quicker if I do the smaller screen. Is that okay with everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she talked a lot about container trends, groupings of plants. This would be great for you, Nate, as a designer. We see a lot of people mix matching these types of different containers, and textures don't have to be all matchy anymore at all. You know, some really, I think, more organic and antique she talked a lot about, right? If you want to scroll through, feel free, Rebecca, to chime in. I'm just flying through this.
No,
you
go
know,
ahead.
lots of stone, wood. We're really going organic. And we're loving it. I like the mixing and matching of everything. So the next one, again, this is a little bit slow. I don't know why. Maybe if I get rid of stuff. Sorry, can you see it? It's not coming up on my screen. Nope. Let's see. Maybe because it's asking me to learn more. There we go.
Is there somewhere we can download this? Is this a presentation available to download the slides?
Yeah, we could do that. Miss Dara, can you work on that for us? That would be great. I'm sorry, this just froze. Nope. It's gone. I can try one more time. I apologize. So we had a good audience, and if this would just work. How about I close out of it? Good. Go back to. Sorry, everyone. Let's see if it works this time. PowerPoint. Ask me any questions while we're waiting. This shouldn't take too long. Cultivate. There we go. It's going to work this time. Here we go. Yeah, no. I'm going to let it load, and we're going to go on to something beyond this. It's going to take a little bit to load, right? So I'll just start talking about, oh, there we go. Yay. Can everybody see this? Just a few more examples of different containers that are different styles. I'm loving the one on the left side. We're about to do a huge job with all white ones of those. A little pedestal planter here. You see on the left side, left in the black container. We're doing all in white. It's kind of a cool new trend that I've been noticing. The organic shapes, this is like a Bloom and Flourish right here on the right. How are you liking that, people? I love that one, the grouping together. It's definitely modern and funky, but I'm seeing a lot of that with our designers and architects that we're working with, a little bit more streamlined too. So I think they're doing a combination of a lot of organic things, but kind of going back to a little bit of some geometry. Wall dividers, living fernature, plants and furniture, plants and using plants to divide spaces. Lots of built-in planter beds. Nate, you building a lot of planter beds these days? I know a lot of our clients are.
Yeah, we do a good number of them. To
Yeah.
mix and match.
Yep. So these built-in planters, one of the things, that are super important for us is that they're watertight. So that's one of the most important things you've got to work on, and in making sure that in the drawings and all of us that we're asking our clients to make sure they're waterproof. And we're noticing, some mix and match, like it's all, these are some examples of some of our buildings, but it's like, it's not the same. Jessica, we've been, how many years have we been doing this, right? It's like, it used to be one line of this and everything matches and everything's perfect and symmetrical, but it doesn't. When they started coming up with this trend, it's biodiverse. At first I'm like, it looks like fruit salad. I hate it. But now I've embraced it because it's more natural. It's more in tune with what's going on outside. Nothing's perfect in nature, right? So Shane's joined us. We're just going over the trends that we did for the Women Entrepreneur Cultivate show, which was fun. So give you a little bit of fun things. More innovative plant columns. We started to test and do that on the right side, and these living ceilings, which Greenery NYC, which is exciting. They are definitely coming up with some ways of doing this with live plants, and a lot of people are out there putting fake plants in. Not happy about that. Don't tell Holly, my favorite person. I love Holly from Autograph, but I'm always about the live plants. And it can be done. There's irrigation. This system has irrigation in it. So as far as I know, there are, you can customize these living ceilings to have live plants, low light, of course, unless you're going to add some nice lighting, obviously, but in this situation. But they do have an irrigation where you just hook up the hose to a water machine, so it's easily maintained. Because that's
Jen,
the
is
key.
that hydroponic? The ceiling?
This is ours,
Oh.
Jan, that's ours. These are just baskets. Just
Those are baskets.
hanging baskets, these
Yeah.
ones, yeah.
Nice, Rebecca.
And so they
Hung
can
from the
get up on
ceiling.
a ladder. Yeah, so what Greenery NYC, Rebecca was saying is that she has troughs basically that they've customized, which you can work with a steel, and then use some leca at the bottom, maybe put a tube in, and like I said, do a sub irrigation unit so you're not always up there on ladders is the key, because we don't want to make this a nightmare, and most landscaping companies don't want to deal with this. Client doesn't want to deal with it, especially above food and all that. But like I said, I'm always looking for a way myself personally is to have live plants. A lot of these trends, which is crazy, we get these out of the dumpster and put them in. Yeah, the old plants. Everybody wants to make it look like it's an older planting, which is kind of going back to the feeling of being home, the resi-commercial type situation where, hey, this is my cool plant from my house, my marginata that I've had for 40 years on the right side and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of trends like this. I'm sure all of you, Paige, I'm sure you've seen it. A lot of people, this is definitely still here for a while, and it's going to continue. So, these are, creating refuges like this type of space. We'll talk a little bit more about immersion rooms in a second. Which we are finally creating our first immersion room, which is exciting, in a small space soon, which is exciting because recharge, refresh rooms, they're called, nature nooks. There's all kinds of spaces that you kind of just want to go into and just tap out for a few. This is a huge trend that we're still not just putting moss on walls, but putting it in flat planter beds. This is a beautiful Zen garden that Bloom and Flourish did. People actually go in there and rake the sand. Am I right, Rebecca?
Yeah, they do.
And it's so relaxing, and the whole feng shui thing. This is a laser cut moss wall. You think that this is super expensive, but work with a local laser cut place, Google it, find one near you and give them a pattern. They'll cut it out in wood and you put your moss behind it and call it a day. Please stop me if you have any questions. I'm going to keep going. Botanical elements. We're looking to more and more preserved plants. This is Plant Solutions in Arizona. And again, they have a lot of, the desert area and cacti and all that, driftwood, sand and all of that. So they're kind of going and embracing their own native plantings here. Now we're going to go on to Rebecca's. Good job, Rebecca Bullene. No, she's not here. So this is the immersion room, the nature nook they called it. Beautiful, the one on the right. It's just a room where there's no technology allowed and you just go in there and you chill. Beautiful. Interior irrigation. This is what got ahead of myself, but these are all irrigated, these window boxes on top to create these living ceilings. Interior irrigation, look at this. This is a before and after, all customized, made, all irrigated, all the zones it's a sophisticated system, but it's actually just really thinking out of the box. And there's ways of doing more complicated, undulating, mounds of plantscaping, which I think is stunning. This room is amazing. I want one here. Again, more interior irrigation with timers and flow rates and all that. Their new wall dividing system, Emma actually bought 4 of these to test out here in Boston, which is exciting. If I know that she's sending one to Nate in New York. I just talked to Adam yesterday. This is all self-contained and it has lights and it has irrigation, and I've seen it up close. I see how it works. It's really not complicated. It's going to be, I think, a great addition to our kind of plant toolbox that we have to get out there in the interior scape world. Grow lights, super important. One of the most challenging things, and I worked with Nate, who's from MBBJ, I keep calling you out, sorry, was, a lot of clients want plants somewhere, right? And it's like, there's no light. You gotta, so we're always trying to work with architects and say, okay, if you want this, we need this many candles, and making sure that we constantly are communicating with the architecture and design teams to say, this is exactly what I need for light levels, the top, the middle, the bottom, and all around the canopy of trees, and put it in writing and like be very transparent from the beginning, because we've done a lot of pushing the envelope of interior lighting on big trees that shouldn't really be inside, and it's working. I just went to another job that is all, not a lot of, atrium spaces. By the time the light diffuses from 4 to 6 stories up, it's just not the foot candles you need, but the beautiful light fixtures, and that's not the metal headlights of the past. It's some great LED lighting. It works. It really works, but you've got to put things in writing, and you got to make sure that, our architect friends are working with lighting consultants that will guarantee that there's going to be this level of lumens or foot candles in that space. Another example, lighting right here. So Nutrio, I can never say it. Can somebody correct me? Nutrio Technologies, Nurtio. We use a lot of their moisture. It's, moisture meters. They're light meters. They are humidity and temperature. They're amazing. We have them on all of our big trees. There is technology out there. So if it's in a questionable place where all of a sudden somebody leaves the door open and it's 10 degrees, you have so right on your phone, it sets out an alert. It's 30 degrees, the street's getting blasted. So I would highly recommend, if any of you, to talk to, I can never say her name correctly, or right. Irina, she's fabulous. Woman-owned business, and she's their technology. We just bought some more for some big plantings. Here's some, I can send everybody, or have Mystera send you all the slide deck of this, no problem. And it just shows a lot of what type of grow lights we're looking into, full spectrum, and the Kelvin levels and all that. And if anybody has any questions, we have Shane Pliska in the house from Detroit. Shane Pliska is the king of lighting. He did the whole lighting guide, Plantera. He knows everything about lighting. So there's Shane. Hi, Shane, my buddy.
Hi, Jan.
Shane would love to share his wealth of information about lighting. It's a great tool that I do give to a lot of architects, let me tell you, because it's just a great comprehensive guide on lighting in the interior scape. Let me know,
Where could I
Nate.
find that guide?
That could
I
be
can,
from
yeah, I can put a link in the chat here.
That'd be awesome.
It's
Thank you.
great. Okay, so here's again another picture of the wonderful lit irrigated wall systems. And they come in a couple different, 4 different types, you know, white metal, black metal, and different types of wood. They're beautiful. There's the website if you need it, biotechinstruments.com. Little plug. So check out these designs. I'm obsessed of, you know, they did this design a long time ago, bottom left, but it's just simple colored cables that are just, you know, pothos crawling up cables, but it's cool. It's just different and fun. The planter beds that we talked about before, I think I see a lot of these wall dividers that are custom built into these restaurant jobs and et cetera like that on the far right over here. Almost done. Oh, there's me. Hey, you can put living walls anywhere, going up escalators, going down escalators. I think a lot of, I talked about just brand strengthening and additional revenue, even if it's no revenue. We are actually putting a lot of like property management company parties together for free. We're doing a plant party. We reach out to like one specific company and we say, hey, come to our space, host a plant party, have some cocktails, and it's just strengthening the bonds with your clients. And also we're gonna have one. You'll have to come from Omaha, Nate. We're gonna have one for architects, but all different ones, not just one firm, but send out a 80-person capacity and just have an architect lunch and learn or cocktail party where there's a CEU that can be done first, and then we have a nice little networking session and happy hour after. I think it's really important to get your name out there. There's a couple instances of plant parties you can charge for them, like on the right, and you know, offer it to your clients to, you know, and again, it's not like for this all this revenue, it's just offering a nice service to your clients. And the one on the left is one of our big clients, and we just had it over for the holidays, and we had some fun with some snowmen and stuff in their plant bowls. Pop-up events, we've been doing a little bit more of, like taking over spaces that have been emptied, doing pop-up shops, fall fest. All right, if you guys, anybody has kids in the room, at bottom right, look at the tic-tac-toe with the pumpkins. Isn't that fun? Who's gonna use that this fall? I know I'm stealing it. I'm doing it at some fall party. Just so, yeah, we like to have a lot of fun with our clients, you know, fall fest. You give me a reason for a party and I'm there. Quickly, client gift options, which is the gift of cheer, the gift of green. Because we've put this out there, we actually have a client that wants to spend X amount of dollars for each present for like 400 people. And it's like, whoa, you know, it can explode. I want to talk about something kind of out of the box, but why not? Why do we have to be boring plant people? We're not, right? We're creative, we're artists. Plant the Future in Miami. Look at that cool moss living art show. You know, it's not living, but it's preserved moss. But why not? If you're into it and you have a designer that really wants to think out of the box, those giant blooms in the middle came from Epsi. It was a few $100s. It just, you know, pop-up displays in your lobbies. It sets you apart from anybody else. The loose leaf company, I think they're in Korea. Again, I'm not saying that, you know, go out and do this, but why not do it? You know, what's stopping you? Fear? Stop being such a scaredy cat. It's fun. Why not try something like that? You got to create something that sets you apart, because we all can kind of fall in the middle of being the same plantscaping companies, but offer different things. Like I actually did a water feature in the far left of this raining Japanese maple that's made in copper. So it's like a sculpture, it's a water feature all in one, and it's a plant. I went to the Chelsea Flower and Garden Show in London and saw some really interesting things. You know, we don't have to just put plants into these beds anymore. Why not put some sculptures and work with the local artists? Even if you don't sell the art directly, or maybe you curate them and you have a little bit of of a subcontract markup on it, just because of, you know, you're bringing this to the table, but work with a local artist that actually makes these things. And I think it just sets these buildings apart and making something different and just showing clients and design community that there, you know, other options than just plantscaping. And then get a plant truck. Who's going to have a plant truck? Am I going to, you know, come on. Somebody needs to get it. Can't just be me. Get one. Stephanie Miller, you're going to get a plant truck soon? Nope. Yes. Are you paying attention, Stephanie? I don't see you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We're on
Okay.
that.
If you need any help, we're up to over $83,000 in charitable donations from the plant truck, and we're having a blast.
No, I love what you're doing, and we totally want to do here, and that same thing in downtown Indy. I
Yeah.
didn't even know you.
I mean, we only
knew I
take
was
it out
all in
once or
it.
twice a week.
What now?
What?
So I didn't even know you knew I was.
We
all
only
in. I
go
was just
out.
listening.
Yeah, I see the names. I keep checking in. Who's here? Who's here? Okay, I keep going. What time is it? Oh, I'm due for time. A lot of people have seen the living furniture line, but something very different. You can actually, you don't have to, we're still developing the line. It's kind of a specialty thing. You can actually create your own, you know, special, you know, get a table and, you know, try and do it yourself. If you know, we're thinking about selling some to the industry, which we have. So if you have a job where they think that use some of these pictures and they want to create a living furniture piece, you know, please talk to me, or I can give you some direction on maybe where to go. We can have custom pieces made. Like we've had this one on the left with Croatian stone, imported, beautiful piece. And it's like a great bar top on a roof deck in the seaport. And then, who's going to be at the Biophilic Design Leadership Summit next year with me in Atlanta? Raise your hand. Come on. It's one of the best things. We learned so much. There are scientists there, there are designers there. Who's that? Who
It's
said I'm
Stephanie.
in?
I'm in.
Yes. I went the second time. You know, we could be at a seminar about coyotes. You know, what does that have to do with anything? Well, you know, it's nature. It's about learning about why it's so important our work is to people's health and well-being, and being a part of nature. We are nature. We're not aside from nature. Just learning a lot about things. And one of the things I started myself a few years ago is a food forest I created at Old West Church on the right. And now the edible, you know, gardens are really coming up. The one on the left, we planted in a downtown office area. The tomato plants are like 5 feet tall right now. I just saw a picture the other day and I was like, whoa. People are into foodscaping. I just got an email from the Food Forest Coalition that said they wanted to do a 10,000 square foot food forest in Roxbury, Dorchester. I'm creating another one on the South Shore. It's challenging. If you don't know organic gardening, don't touch this, okay? But there are companies like Green City Growers that it's in my area, and other companies that are doing this, very successful. Start slow. Put some herbs into something outside if you do exteriors. There's a company called Agrisci that he's starting a mobile, I think it's hydroponic. He just sent me an email, indoor gardening type unit. You know, it's a little challenging. Test it in your own space first before you send it out to a client. All of a sudden you get bugs and you don't want to deal with that. You don't want to, you know, I always say you've got to test these things first. Rifle shots, not cannonballs. Again, here's the immersion room deal that I can't wait to do my first one soon. It's in a very small space, but it's basically engulfing you with nature. It'll have a video swirling of nature, the woods and the sea and the beautiful sounds and the noise, and probably some aromatherapy, and just really dark and quiet. There'll be live plants, but we're going to have the plants lights go on at night for like, you know, 8 hours in the night so that the plants stay alive, so that during the day, yes, there are live plants here. It's dim, but you still have that smell of organic soil and you still have live plants there. No fake plants. Don't do it with fake. You know, some other examples of biophilic nature inspired quiet rooms. Nate, have you done any of those yet? Recharge rooms or anything? Kind of.
Not personally, but it's a big deal. Yeah, we have a lot of clients who
It
are
is,
doing them.
right?
I just haven't gotten to work on one yet.
Well, you gotta put it out there, and hopefully in the next 6 to 8, months, I'll be putting, a real one in where it's not just kind of walk in with plants in the room, but it's an immersive experience. And I'm really excited about this. Okay, so I got a lot out of this. This is Carolyn. I'm all about holiday. Who loves holiday? My video is coming out this week. I'm so excited. So some of the new trends that Carolyn saw was paper. Very cool. Paper this, paper that. It might not last a few seasons if you store it correctly, maybe. This thing I saw a couple years ago, I don't think I'd use it. I don't know. It's a little much for me, but it's cool, right? Iridescent. Iridescent's hot. Tinsel. Tinsel's okay. It was a big trend, not very sustainable, and we're going to talk about that. And sustainability and holiday, I think, is a topic we should talk about. If we can repurpose these things over and over, like these stars, I think that's good. Other ideas, not maybe PVC Christmas trees that will never be recycled, is something that. Here's some sustainability ideas. This is from William Braid, and he's dethroned me as Christmas queen because he's the king, because he came up with these cool things that are just stunning. They're like stacked crates. You could put custom signage in. You get a little fireplace in here. There's no Christmas tree. There's some decorations. Obviously you're getting these imported and this and that, but it's just a different way of displaying. I thought that this was cool. I'm gonna call William and say, hey, can I use a little bit of this idea? Because stacking crates, it just making it very different. That was one of my takeaways, and my second takeaway is having something like this. Again, you're using metal. You're not using a full-on PVC pipe. You're having parts of it decorated and parts of it not decorated. I thought that this was stunning, really cool, and you can decorate it in color, in shape, size, whatever. Creating those Instagram moments. We have a lot of snow scenes that we do this with the rings and all that. And that is it for the Cultivate Women Entrepreneur part. Does anybody have any questions for the audience, to anybody, or feedback on a little discussion? Say again, Stephanie?
It was awesome. I loved all their, it was terrific. And Jack's here too. We were listening the whole time.
Hi, Jack.
We were kind of multitasking, so
That's okay. We're a bunch of in the room.
No, it was great. We really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Jan.
Yeah, so I think if we can really get the conversation growing in our industry, did I say growing? Going in our industry about more sustainable plants. Number one, plantscaping, which we'll talk about in a second, but holiday decor. I had a really long conversation with Brian Hoffman in Philadelphia, and we kind of shot around some ideas. And you got to think, it can't be all these PVC, even though you can use these trees year after year. Okay. Right. That's good. It's better than, I guess, cut, because you're killing trees, you're growing them, you're killing them. I don't know, but you are being shipped. They aren't recyclable. It's not great. So the less that we use, it's great, but you can use them over and over and over again. We've had some trees on accounts, the LED lighting is better. They last longer. But if we could get, there are ways that we can do more live plantings, and we use the plants after, and these stackable crates, repurposing. Anybody give me an idea, Amy. Do you do a little Christmas? Rebecca, anybody? Sustainable Christmas ideas. Go.
I think the crates are great because they're also you could deal with fire codes a lot of times too. And live tree or cut Christmas trees in hotels, things like that just don't fly sometimes.
Yeah, we can't do those. They're against the law in Boston. So
yeah, they are here too. We're looking at the crate. We saw an example of the crate situation, but with live plants stacked inside. So kind of like a living. Yeah. I don't know where I saw that. Have you seen that same one?
No, but Jessica, remember the days? Jessica and I worked together 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah. We're dating ourselves.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
We did that at one hotel,
Very
Brooklyn
young.
Bridge.
But we used to do poinsettia trees. Remember? But
Mhm.
why, I mean, the poinsettia trees using live plants like Norfolk Island
Mm.
pine, get the 6-inch Norfolk
Mhm.
pine, keep it really sophisticated. You can make it, and again, what the beautiful part about that is, don't do a point tree because you throw those out. If you did a Norfolk Island pine tree, you could literally give the plants away.
Yeah, that's what the clients have done, or even bird's nest ferns are beautiful in those
Yeah.
trees. Really pretty.
But who-
You know what I also love? The you know how the lobster pots, they make lobster
Yeah.
pot trees? Love that.
Yes, the lobster
Or even
traps.
the
Yeah.
buoys. They hang the buoys and make a tree with those. There's lots of fun.
Yeah,
That's kind
I
of a
mean,
Boston thing, isn't it?
It is a Boston thing, I think.
It would
what
be
do you think,
really,
lobster?
it would be really
Yeah.
interesting if there was a sustainable Christmas design contest.
That
Love
would
that.
be really cool.
I think.
You know, what if we didn't put lights on the trees? Could they come inside again? The live trees with no
They'd
light?
have to be potted.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, we brought live potted Alberta spruces and things like that in. They're just
Mhm.
heavier. And I've seen that, and I've seen Winston's is a florist here that does some interior-scaping. They do a fantastic job, and they have these huge, gorgeous pots, and they will bring in live evergreen trees, or they'll fill up one of the things, and we've done this before too, with the big sugar pine cones. You just stack them in
Mm.
container, then you put a big Leland spruce in, and then you put a bunch of holly plants.
Right.
So the question is can you save that? So come January, you pull it out, it's still alive, but you can't just stick it outside, it'll die. You just thawed it out, right? Or you just, you have to almost
we saved-
acclimate it.
Honestly, all of our evergreens that we put in pots in winter, if you can get them potted up quickly enough in the spring, you can reuse them.
Right,
It's
that's what I'm saying.
incredible.
If you can
Yeah.
bring it back, but don't quite bring it outside, if you have a place to put it, pot it up, put it inside somewhere that's medium cold and not freezing, then bring it out in the spring, then they have all year to acclimate down again. I think sustainability, maybe Green Plants for Green Villains can do a sustainability holiday challenge.
Or maybe we can get iPlants magazine to add a
That's a nice idea.
thing.
I'm
Add
gonna
a
text
category.
Elliot or something, even if it's just, I love competitions, bring it on.
Yeah, I can tell. Hey,
But I'm
we
gonna
did
tell you.
actually- I'll just tell you this real quick. It's not a lot. We're just kind of playing with it, that we took all of our evergreens out of our winter planters this year and planted them in the ground on my farm. So, and watered them. They're all still green. So our plan is to plant them again in all the places that we took them out of. But that is still yet to be determined if that's going to work. But
Might be a little larger.
they might. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes they're like too small when you plant them.
Sure.
And I would go with a little
Yeah.
larger. So yeah, so we have a whole row
Yeah,
of evergreen, and we'll just
Oh, nice.
happens.
We did that with a few that came back so gorgeous. They sat in their root balls and garbage bags for a good month or
Yeah.
two. Finally got them in pots, and I walked by, I'm like, wow, where are these evergreens that were from last winter's
Yeah.
plant? So we get to use them again, which is brilliant.
Honestly, you can do it. We did about 500 this year, and I still have like gorgeous gold mops that
Did
we
you
can
really?
absolutely. It's all about how quickly you can pot them up in April and May, so it doesn't get too hot. As
Yeah.
long as you can do it. We happen to have a team and it worked out. But we also bought a horse farm, so we have a lot more space now.
That's
And you
Yeah.
got lots of manure.
Lots of manure.
Oh my gosh. So the other
Yeah.
thing is, we'll go off the topic of sustainability in 1 second, is creating, Jim Mumford's term, eco warrior, or somebody in your team to almost embrace it. Doesn't have to be full-time, just a part-time. There's a lot of younger people that are coming with environmental degrees and all these like degrees. They're like, what am I going to do? A sustainability degree. And I'm like, you can water plants, you can work at it's hard. So we have a person that's been on staff for a long time, and she literally embraced this eco warrior thing. And she went to all the places that we get our stuff composted, and the cardboard place and the plastic place, toured them all to make sure they weren't greenwashing. Huge, right? Because they can say they do she literally has a 3-year plan, and by the end of next year, we'll be saving $23,000 a year and we're not going to be zero waste, but 23,000 a year. And she's hammering the ops guys. Like if she sees the garbage bag and there's any plastic pots with the compost, she's like, get over here and take, you know, because we've been recycling since, I don't know, the 90s. And it's like, you got to stay on top of it. But you know what? That's real money that you guys could be capturing right now. And if you want to hook up, and I can send you, actually, Ms. Darrow, you remind me, I can send the team here or whoever came on the call our sustainability report of how she did it and the steps, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be
And
great.
she came up with like,
That'd be
you
great.
know, a graphic and everything. And if you want to get on a call with her, I'll leave her email. She'd be elated. She's really embraced it. She's, you know, our eco warrior. Yes, Jim, I stole
You
it.
have to have them because you talk to your blue in the face and it's like it's constant, ongoing
Like
for the
why?
recycling. It's just,
Right.
oh, it's crazy.
Yeah. But you give them the reason, and then you give everybody a piece of the pie. So if we literally save, we do a game, $23,000, all you guys get 10%, whatever, divided up by 50% of it. So I'm still saving over
Nice.
$10,000. Why not give a piece of the pie to the whole team that is saving the money? Creating
This is
business. We're
this is
absolutely
a little
excited.
shameless.
Okay, so
Jeremy, what was that?
Yeah, this is a little shameless plug, but just so when I'm talking to the industry or when our customer service team is talking to the industry, so one of the lines that we launched over a year ago is the Eco Pots line. And part of that was that it's 80% recycled material. And a lot of companies will make those claims, and you go to the factories and like, just when they're getting their inspections and their certifications done, they have recycled material, but then a year later, they've moved on to different materials. So it's not real. With the Eco Pots at the end, post-consumer at the end, there's 5 different verification groups that verify and test the products continuously to maintain the certifications. And then the other thing, you talk about saving things all the time, the Eco Pots, you can repair them. So you could beat them up for an entire year and you can make them look brand new again a year later and resell them to a client as brand new planters, and you never have to buy them again unless you break them in half or something. But just a shameless plug. But when I talk to a lot of interior scapers, very few, if any, that's the reason they're buying the planters. They buy them from like a design perspective. So we're not getting that feedback as a supplier that the sustainability is actually important from a product standpoint. So when you're trying to work with your suppliers, if it's actually making a difference for you selling your products at the end of the day or making your company better in some way, you need to give that feedback. And maybe, you know, not just with us, but with anybody that you're buying from, make sure that that's heard with them, that that's important. Because a lot of people are telling us that it's not making the difference on the sale. So they care about price, they care about aesthetics. And some of them might even say that they care about sustainability, but their clients don't. So
I have a question. Can we paint those? I mean, can you paint those Eco Pots?
I've tried to paint them. So it just depends on what you care about the aesthetics. So you can technically paint them. They don't look like a nice painted finish. I mean, you can't get like a high gloss, like perfectly smooth finish on the outside of them, but technically you could paint them, but I probably will never sell them as painted planters ourselves because I don't feel confident in the final product to market and sell that.
So Jeremy, on that, ASI's fiberglass planters we've had forever. We have some for decades. We have literally brought oodles of those to auto body shops.
Yeah.
And in one big batch, we will have them do it with an auto body finish. And then there's another. It's, you know, the pots are so good, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you can really refinish those, you know, fiberglass pots. I mean, they last forever.
They do last forever.
So we do the same thing. We've paid body shops in the past when we were working our way up to our own painting, and it's still, unless you have a really desperate body shop, they're still going to charge you a pretty penny to do that.
Yeah.
With the Eco Pots, anyone can do it. You could have any technician do it with we have little like repair kits. So you don't need cleaning, you don't need booths, you don't need prep stations, you don't need paint, you don't have to worry about fumes from paint and all those kinds of things. It's literally just a sanding process, and you can restore them to a brand new finish, even if they've been beaten up significantly.
That's great. That's
more on the sustainability focus. I would say that interior designers and architects and GCs even are pushing for that label, to have that on their projects. At least in our market specifically, we have additionally, we have firms that are trying to be DEI focused in that they're only hiring smaller firms or like women-owned businesses or things like that, but they're really focusing on the sustainability aspect too for all of their jobs, and trying to, if they hear the buzzword sustainability on carpet or countertops or fabric, like the designers are using that. But again, Jeremy, to your point, like it's the matter of selling that to the end user for them to actually move forward and purchase. So if you're already, if the architect and designers are already in with the client and the client's moving forward with them, that's where I find the value really comes through. And I'm in Portland, Oregon, so it's a huge focus out here. But I'm sure it's different across the country. But yeah, that's where we're finding the biggest push.
There's also organizations. I got interviewed from a BU student, and she hooked on our sustainability practices because that is in the green industry, which isn't that green. We're working on it, aren't we?
Right.
That I had to fill out a whole thing. It was like this whole interview took a good hour or so of our sustainability and practices and all that. And it really made me think, I'm like, oh my God, we could be better at this. I thought we did pretty good. You know, some of it has to do with, you know, some community work and things like that. It wasn't just sustainability, but almost like an ESG thing. But I think the most important thing is the awareness of like, well, let's think out of the box out. But again, if we get this certification potentially or work with this company, and I apologize, I can't remember the name. It could just be a Massachusetts-based thing. I'm not sure. If I get a reminder, I'll send it to the group as well. I'll find it later. But I think it was really important to know, like I had a grade. Okay, so I had a benchmark. So we're going to start, I gave that to my eco warrior, and Bernie is going to literally take that score and in the next year, see the different buckets and try and improve upon these certain things. So
That sounds like lead. Is that simple lead?
No, it wasn't lead. That's for buildings. It wasn't a lead building. It's a company. It's something different I had never heard of.
Just? Was it a Just label?
No. I will have to look that up. It's been a little bit, and
one of the ones for products that we've had a lot of interest from our clients is the Declare label, talking about red list free materials. So red list is all the toxic materials used in the building industry, and there's a huge sum of them, and understanding what % of your product is made of those and working to reduce that amount is something that not all of our clients, but a select few are very interested because of the impact those have on people as well.
Yeah, so the other thing is almost like really talking to people, like what Jeremy was saying, making the effort of talking to the vendors or talking to your composters or your cardboard people. And, you know, can we get rid of this cardboard and give it to some community gardens? Because they use cardboard to put mulch on and things like that, getting rid of all this stuff and not just recycling it, but repurposing it. That was the big thing. And even the grow pots are probably the worst thing in our industry. Do you think? Those plastic pots. So the big thing for that is we have a nursery locally. Jessica, I don't know if you use Cavicchios or not. They take back plastic pots now. So what they do with them, they probably sterilize them and utilize them again. So again, it's a repurpose thing, not a recycle thing.
Do they have to be their own pots?
As far as I know, no, we're just giving them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I would just talk to somebody there.
ASI could do the same thing, but like we experimented in the past with PLA, if you guys are familiar with that material. So all the plastics basically that you use could be made with a PLA. It's a plant-based material, and it even holds up outside really well. And the benefit I liked about it at the time is we went into our injection molding facilities. It smells like candy. It smells like a candy shop when they're running the plastic instead of smells like melting plastic. So even for the benefit of the people working in the factories, I thought it was awesome. But it increased the price of products that we were making by 10%. And we tried to survey I was super stoked about this stuff because it's biodegradable. So you can basically like ship it up, and like once it's been shipped up, you can just throw it on the ground or bury it or compost it or whatever, and it'll biodegrade. But people just couldn't give us the feedback that we were looking for that would justify the price increase. It's not that hard to go back and do that again. So basically anything with injection mold. It can be painted like ABS. So I'm sure like the Phoenix lines and stuff like that ASI has, the same kind of thing could happen with that in the future, but the material itself does cost a little bit more. So it'd have to be like, that's a selling point for you guys, and you provide the feedback to your suppliers and say, it's going to help us close more deals. Or if you have those certifications or whatever these different things you find that are different than LEED, if you provide that feedback to your suppliers and your vendors and say, I'm specifically using these certification programs, I need products that meet these criteria, or don't have the toxic chemicals from the building materials list. If you can actually say, this is helping me close more deals, I will sell more of your product. Can you do this? Because there's so many certifications that if we start chasing them as suppliers and we pick the wrong ones, and they can be expensive, right? So just getting like one test at one factory for us to make sure that something meets one certification criteria can cost us $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 just for one. So if we know what matters to you guys and exactly what certifications you want us getting, and you give that feedback to your vendors and suppliers, then you probably see a lot more of that from your vendors and suppliers.
Some of the bigger vendors, clients do require some type of sustainability report or checklist. Like what are your sustainable practices? So we actually started just put together in one form, and this is what we do with our plastic, our cardboard, our compost, and then what other initiatives are they looking at? And what are you going to do when we had the Prudential and we used to do hundreds of flowering plants? And it's like, what are you doing with those plants when they come out of here every 2-3 weeks? They don't do that anymore, and it was like, well, we recycle them, we repurpose them, we compost them, or we give them to this charity, this charity, this charity. So coming up with a sustainability report ready at all times and adding the things that you're going to start doing, I think is really proactive way of being ahead of the curve. And just because more and more people are asking. Megan, where are you from, Megan? LA? Calling people out that I haven't met yet. Or maybe I have.
Hang on. Oh, you can hear me. You did call me out, didn't you?
Hi, Megan.
Hi, how are you? I am actually a coworker with Paige.
Oh, hi, Paige, his coworker. Great. So what did I just ask you? Where are you from? Now I know where you're from.
Portland.
Portland.
Yeah.
So do you have a type of a little bit of a bullet pointed sustainability report for your company saying this is what we do?
We sure do not, but I would love it. And
we do actually. Megan is a brand new account manager. Yeah. She's been an account manager for a month.
Oh, there you go. Now you know she has one.
Now I know.
But actually, we do have a whole page on our website. We're really big on sustainability, especially with our commercial landscape crews. And we actually compost a bunch of stuff on site. We have a huge get at our HQ office. So we compost a lot of stuff here.
Yay. So real Cultivate kind of finds that I found, maybe other people can mention what they found, but I did find we do some exteriors, and even in interiors sometimes we'll use landscape fabric. And there is a landscape fabric company that I found in Cultivate that are made of recycled plastic bottles, which I thought was pretty cool. It's called it's called American Nettings. So I can send you the website, but I think it's pretty cool that they have bird netting and all that kind of landscapey stuff. But we can go through a lot of landscape fabric and making them out. There's another thing. Our landscape fabric is made out of recycled bottles. Awesome. I didn't find a lot of. Oh, Natura.
Nature has also come up with a new substrate that looks pretty intriguing too. I'd be interested to try from a client's perspective, saving some money on maintenance, but also in terms of top dressings. You use the substrate kind of like leca, but also it's very aesthetically pleasing. I know a little bit different.
It's volcaponic. Yeah. So they worked with William Braid. Mike and I have been trying to get this for years. This is so exciting for the industry. I just brought it up today. So it's volcaponic substrate material. So basically what it is, it's got shale, it's got different types of, I don't remember exactly what's in it. So I went out to London and I saw William and I saw a bunch of his accounts. These plants are literally, you got to get rid of most of the soil and you plant it directly into the planter. So you got to deal with completely watertight containers, guys, because you're direct planting. Guess what? There's no foam collars. There's no saucers. There's no styro. There's no top dressing. It's really good looking. It's a beautiful, and guess what? They go 3 to 4 weeks without watering. No problem. No fungus gnats. No fungus gnats. Hello. That's a game changer in itself. You're going 3 to 4 weeks without watering. You can go every couple of weeks to do your trimming and all that. But number one, you're going to save on so much stuff. It's not even funny. So we're going to get a test load, like I don't know how many pallets of it, probably a shipment of it, and do it on a small scale at different new accounts and just start to test it. William's been testing it in London for years. And he got this, he used to do a different type of material. It's only made in Germany, but Mike brought over a little ship full of Balcaponic. So did he send it out to the industry that he's going to start wholesaling? Is that what you found out, or did you talk to Mike?
Yeah, no, he was passing out some information on it.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I know from what I saw in some of the new installations and some of the older ones that the plants really like it. You do have a lot more labor on the beginning because you are, doing it direct planted and you're going to get rid of all that stuff. But think about all the money you'll save in the long run. And you could do planter beds full. You don't have to worry about staging anymore, any of that. It's a game changer, I think. So we have 1 minute. Does anybody have any takeaways from Cultivate, AIA, anything you want to add? Hey, what, as a Green Plants for Green Buildings, what do you all want from us that we can improve upon, that you have some ideas that we can do differently, or do you have an idea of something that we could do that will help you get the word about how important nature is in the built environment? Plants. Anybody? How can we support you better?
I think maybe sharing resources, like we look at all these beautiful containers and the images that you've shared, but maybe like the source, like where to get those beautiful containers that Rebecca had in those photographs. I think maybe a resource link. We used to have Interiorscape magazine that had these great links or different container companies, kind of obscure container companies. I mean, we love the New Pro and ASI, of course, but sometimes you need those larger, normal, some more natural looking containers. And I think sometimes for me, it's resource sharing.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Maybe we can actually share some of the links in the PowerPoint. As a Green Plants industry, we want to support our supporters, like our ASI New Pro that are huge supporters of ours. So we're not gonna put it out to the whole world, like as far as, because we really we want to buy from people who really support the industry. But I think if like these type of like networking meetings that we're having now, we can put the links onto that page and say, these came from this, that, and then we share it with this group. And whether you want to share it or not is fine. Because again, you're sharing leads. It's more like you were saying, it's like a one-off. It's not the staple item that we're gonna use the eco pots or the Phoenix all day long every day. But if we want that special oversized that's like 50 feet tall, like 10 feet tall, we were trying to find the other day, and Atelier Varigant in Europe is like 5 months out. You're like, where am I going to find that? Right. So Rebecca, do you think I can put on that PowerPoint we're still shared on it?
Hey, Jan, I just speak for myself and Nupro, but I'm okay with you sharing other container suppliers for some of that unique stuff. And also, if people call our customer service, it's regular that people ask us where to find weird stuff, and we actually help our customers find weird planners and stuff like that, even if we don't sell them. So you can either ask us, or if you can get everybody to kind of agree, I'm okay with sharing those sources, and it won't offend us or anything.
Yeah, and I don't want you guys to like, there's this container that I think that we used at the AIA show from Phillips Collection. It's kind of pricey, and I actually, they're expensive, like, but there's something that you guys could make. It's like a stony finish. It's got ripples down it. They're gorgeous. It's nothing, and it's something different, and it's something that inspires you to kind of like, okay, this could be a new line, something similar. Not that you're going to steal it, but you're just, kind of feeling that wavy effect of, and the stone finish too, because we want that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
Cool
interesting.
we'll be coming
collection.
out with some new finishes here this
Oh,
year.
yay!
Yeah.
You
That's
should
good.
ask us what we like first.
Yeah, no,
Tell
we'll
you.
come visit you.
You know,
this,
Jason's
August.
father, they used to always call me and like, Jan, what's new? And I was like, tall is in. And then a week later, ASI comes up with a brochure, goes, tall is in. I'm like, you owe me for that.
Right. Well, I don't know that we answered Jeremy's question previously when he asked if sustainability in the container design is important, being, say, the eco pot, because I think sometimes, to answer his question, you might be looking for natural materials, not necessarily that that's made from recycled office equipment. Do we market that way? Do we market and say, look, this is a recycled product, though it's not a natural biophilic maybe looking design? And is the designer or architects more interested in the natural biophilic looking design, or that particular material is sustainable because it's made from recycled product? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I think it's two different aesthetics in a way, and what is more important? And Jeremy's, I think, trying to know, is my investment in the eco pot going to sell? Like, are we marketing it that way?
So, a good question, because guess what? Biophilic design and sustainability is completely two different things.
Right.
Biophilic design is more for the human part of it, right? Which is the feeling, health, all that, like what it does to your, and it is aesthetic. It is how it feels. It is the materials. The sustainability part is, where's it made? I did when a long time ago, when ASI came up with the recycled from the computers, I used to take that picture of this pile of computers. And again, another note to Phil, that I told him to put that picture in his marketing materials, and he did. And I'm like, that pile of old computers was so powerful to say, these pots are made of all of this. So it's two different things. If you can combine them and get a biophilically designed sustainable pot, bam. What do you want, Nate? Ask the architect. I put you on.
It's yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head where it's got to be both. I think that the biophilic thing is kind of an aesthetic. It's about the human performance. It's about a lot of things that make a lot of importance, but at the end of the day, it's also got to be sustainable, because most of our clients are trying to meet pretty stringent sustainability goals. And if they can't hit those, every little piece matters. So normally the plantings aren't the piece that's limiting it, unless it's the lighting. Sometimes that gets in the way, but nonetheless, any piece that we can get that's moving in the right direction for both of those is really critical.
Well, once you get Shane's lighting guide, you'll have all kinds of awesome LED light sources that we use a lot of different companies, that from Solutech to Sunlight to ASI is a great light. And, there's just so many LED options that aren't going to break the bank to keep these things alive. And we're over by 5 minutes. And Tim O'Neill, I think you got the wrong hour. We're done. I'm so sorry, Tim. So thank you again for all your support, everybody. I'm glad you could join, whoever isn't a supporter. We'd love to have you back. I hope you got something out of this. We'd like to welcome Annie in the house, because she is now an official on the board for Green Place Green Villages. And Rebecca, it's official. 2 more women. Sorry.
Nice.
Push the women thing. Yeah. So Jeremy's like, nice, I'm out. He's been on the board for how many years? He's like,
sorry guys. I love everything, but yeah, it's been 8 years and I feel like it's time to move aside and let some other people participate.
Well, we got some blood here.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yay.
Thanks, great. It was so great to reconnect with you guys. And Jeremy, I'll come visit you in Westfield.
And Miss
Awesome.
Sarah will do a follow-up, and she'll have all the stuff because she took notes and I didn't. And Rebecca
Miss Sarah.
got some container sources on that.
Yes, I can get those.
Yeah, awesome. I'll give you the ones that I have from the pictures from Cityscapes. Thanks to everybody. It was great seeing you. Bye.